Broadcasting live from WOUB TV in Athens. This is NewsWatch.
Agents and a weapons of mass destruction team are on the scene of a possible letter attack in Athens. Good evening, everyone. I'm Emily Evans.
And I'm Michael Locklear. It was just after 11:15 this morning when an Ohio University employee opened an envelope containing a suspicious substance. WOUB's Alan Henry is live on the scene at West Union Street. Alan?
Ohio University police have called in the FBI and a weapons of mass destruction team from Rickenbacker Air National Guard Base to check out the HDL Center here behind me on West Union Street in Athens. As you can see, there's a decontamination tent there. That's because an unidentified female university employee received an envelope containing a white powdery substance. As a result, they evacuated the legal affairs section and the People's Bank section of the HDL Center. Now, the unidentified female employee was taken to Oberlin Memorial Hospital, where she's currently being monitored for her health. Now, Police Chief Andrew Powers says that there's nothing conclusive about the substance at this time, so they're unsure whether or not this substance could be a potential threat or not. Now, details are few at this moment because they're currently working to isolate the substance and remove it from the building. But as I said, this is an ongoing investigation and details are few at this moment. But stay tuned here at WUB. We'll bring you the latest as we get it. Reporting live from West Union Street here in Athens, I'm Alan Henry.
Alan, thank you. The father of two OU baseball players is suing the university for nearly $2,200. A complaint says Jeff Squires claims his two sons, both freshmen, were wrongfully billed. Squires says they shouldn't have been charged $1,500 for student health insurance and legal services. The university claims his sons missed the deadline to opt out of the programs. The family also wants $700 in legal fees.
We had a beautiful day today. Nice little taste of sunshine with just some nice breezes coming through, comfortable temperatures. Good evening from the NewsWatch Weather Center. I'm Christa Lamendola. Let's take a look at what's going on outside right now. We have temperatures in the upper 50s to 60s. 58 degrees here in Athens. We have 60 degrees down in Huntington and in Gallipolis, and 54 degrees in Parkersburg. Taking a look at what's happening over tonight, we're going to be seeing skies start to clear and those temperatures drop. Take a look at that. 51 degrees at 9 p.m. and that is just going to drop all the way to 37 degrees by 3 a.m. So when we see those temperatures go down, it's no surprise that we do have a frost warning for tonight. In fact, we'll be seeing that frost 2 a.m. to 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. So when those temperatures drop, you definitely want to make sure that you cover your plants, take care of all those wonderful gardening needs that we've been seeing when spring comes. So that's all we have for today. Back to you, Michael.
All right, thanks so much, Christa. The Ohio University Board of Trustees voted last week to raise tuition by 1.6%. A look at where that money's going has prompted students to organize. WOUB's Angela Reighard is live on College Green, where a protest is taking place now. Angela.
Thank you, Michael. Well, I'm here at College Green, where just moments ago behind me, about 100 students were protesting the 1.6% guaranteed tuition hikes supposed to be enacted for next school year. Well, I said this was the third in the protest for the past 2 weeks, and students were here for a variety of reasons. Some were here pushing for shared governance between the students and the administration, but the majority were here protesting the arrest of 4 Ohio University students who were protesting the tuition hikes at the Board of Trustees meeting this past Friday. Well, I talked to one of the students, Ellie Hamrick, who was one of the 4 arrested, and she says at the end of the day it was all worth it, although all 4 are facing fines as well as the possibility of jail time. Here's what she had to say.
We did understand that we were risking arrest as people engaging in civil disobedience, so I am not surprised. However, there's a maximum penalty of a $250 fine for each of us and 30 days in jail for each of us. There are 4 of us, so that means we could be spending 120 days total in jail for taking 4 minutes and 16 seconds of the Board of Trustees' time. So to me, that speaks to the power of law and the interest that law really stands behind often.
A leader from OU Student Union says because of exam weeks, this is likely to be the last protest on this very topic for this year. However, they said they are ready to start their efforts up again as the school year returns in the fall. Reporting for WUB News, I'm Angela Reighard.
Angela, thank you. We are learning that a former Ohio University employee, a female Ohio University employee that we reported on earlier has been released from the hospital. She's the woman who opened that letter, and she has been released from the hospital. Search warrants have been executed at the high school attended by two football players who raped a 16-year-old girl. That's according to Ohio Attorney General Mike DeWine. The Steubenville rape case gained national media attention, and now a grand jury is looking into whether other laws were broken in connection with the rape. Judges sealed documents associated with these warrants. The grand jury is scheduled to begin hearing evidence on Tuesday.
A Scioto County man is in custody in Texas for allegedly committing 2 bank robberies in southeast Ohio. Police arrested 34-year-old Elvis Presley Kearns of Wheelersburg shortly after 5 p.m. yesterday in the town of Seguin. Scioto County Sheriff's Office Captain David Hall says detectives from the Seguin Police Department were watching a home where Kearns was believed to be staying. Hall says the detectives saw him coming and going from the home. These surveillance photos show who deputies believe to be Kearns holding up the Charter One Bank in Wheelersburg. The Scioto and Lawrence County Sheriff's Offices believe Kearns also robbed the U.S. Bank branch in Proctorville. No word on what charges Kearns will face. A Jackson County grand jury issued 32 felony indictments this month. The Jackson County Times-Journal reports the grand jury met twice this month on April 3rd and April 4th. Typically, the grand jury meets only once a month. However, because there are a significant number of older cases to present, the grand jury will now meet twice a month. The oldest indictment in the April indictments occurred in September 2011. Jackson County Prosecutor Justin Lovett says the county is working to emphasize prosecutions for theft offenses and other drug-related crimes.
A Washington County man is behind bars tonight after he was caught with $9,000 worth of a prescription drug. 55-year-old Michael Sloniker is charged with 2 felony counts of possession of oxycodone tablets. Agents also seized over $3,000 in cash and a small amount of marijuana at the home on Williamson Avenue. Sloniker is in the Washington County Jail this evening in lieu of a $50,000 bond. A press release says Sloniker is believed to be one of the major prescription drug dealers in Washington County. Chillicothe police are calling it the biggest meth lab bust in the city this year. They arrested 3 people who were allegedly cooking up meth inside a home on North Rose Street this morning. At 8 a.m., officers entered a house with a search warrant. They noticed the strong smell of chemicals and then discovered 30 to 41 pot meth labs. Hannah Bean, Anthony Hart, and Michael Lemming have been charged with possession of chemicals used to make drugs. More charges are in the works. This is the 5th meth bust in Chillicothe in the past month.
The Scioto County Sheriff's Office is investigating a felonious assault after receiving a call early last week reporting a man had been hit by a vehicle. Sheriff Marty Donini says his deputies learned when they arrived on the scene that the victim had been intentionally hit and the driver had fled. The victim was transported to the Southern Ohio Medical Center where he was treated and released for his injuries. Detectives have obtained information on the suspects by viewing video cameras in the area. Law enforcement officials are still searching for the suspects who have not returned home since the incident.
Not guilty, that's the verdict for a Gallia County man accused of murder. Prosecutors said 52-year-old Samaki Corpheus stabbed and killed 29-year-old Thomas Marr in February of last year. The jury took 4 hours to make its decision. Not guilty on both charges related to that death.
Governor John Kasich is expected to sign a bill that would require training and certification for a group who will guide consumers through the new health insurance market. These navigators will help educate consumers and small businesses about the online marketplaces that were created by the Affordable Care Act. Consumers will be able to buy individual policies and apply for government subsidies to pay for their premiums after passing background checks. They also wouldn't be allowed to sell, solicit, or negotiate health insurance. Open enrollment for this plan starts on October 1st. Huntington police are investigating a sexual assault reported at a fraternity house early yesterday near Marshall University. The university sent out an alert to students saying a 21-year-old male student is accused of assaulting a 19-year-old female student at the Alpha Tau Omega frat house. Police say that the 2 students knew each other and were together Tuesday night. Officers say no charges have been filed yet. Police say this case should not cause any additional concern for people in the area because it was not a random act.
The Boston bombing suspects may have been trying to attack another hotbed for tourists.
We'll have the latest on the investigation.
And a city is trying to heal a week after an explosion at a fertilizer plant. That's next on NewsWatch.
Antiques Roadshow is discovering treasures in the Star of the West, Rapid City, South Dakota.
She always hoped it was an unsigned Tiffany, but I had my doubts.
What if I was to tell you that your family story was not right?
Oh, good heavens. Yay!
Holy moly.
Don't miss a moment from Rapid City next time on Antiques Roadshow.
One man who's killed 12 girls.
Maybe he's not as harmless as she thinks he is. We've got it down to 7 suspects. Running out of time.
We need to hand it over.
How have you got this far?
Found her in a storm drain near the gasworks.
And they all connect in some way to the slow train from St Pancras to Barking.
I have a favour to ask. It's regarding our time during the war.
The Bletchley Circle.
Boston bombing suspect Dzhokhar Tsarnaev is still in the hospital, just like an estimated 33 of the more than 260 people injured in last week's attack. Today, investigators outlined where they say the brothers targeted their next bombing, as the suspect's mother had a very different version of the events. Emily Schmidt has more on today's developments.
As bad as the Boston bombing was, investigators now say the suspects wanted more. An attack on New York City, Tamerlan and Dzhokhar Tsarnaev allegedly spontaneously planned during the Boston manhunt for them.
We learned through the Joint Terrorist Task Force that the Boston Marathon bombers had planned to travel to Manhattan to detonate the remaining bombs in Times Square.
Commissioner Kelly says the brothers had 6 improvised explosive devices to use. The information came from interviewing surviving suspect Dzhokhar Tsarnaev in the hospital.
I am a mother, loving mother of 2 kids.
In Dagestan, the Tsarnaev brothers' mother says she suspects the bombing scene was fake.
There is like paint instead of blood, like it is made up something.
Her words go against everything investigators have found. Sources say both the CIA and FBI had been asked by Russia to investigate Tamerlan in 2011, before he went to Russia for a 6-month visit last year. Those investigations have prompted debate on Capitol Hill. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham says he blames the administration.
Boston is becoming, to me, a case study in system failure.
Some are racing to say that the FBI dropped the ball or the agencies weren't talking to each other, and that just doesn't seem to be the case.
38-year-old Heather Abbott was caught in the explosion.
I felt like my foot was on fire. I knew I couldn't stand up.
Doctors amputated one leg below the knee. Abbott says she isn't thinking about the suspects who hurt her, doesn't even know how to pronounce their names. For now, she says she's focused on healing. Reporting for WOUB, I'm Emily Schmidt.
The President and First Lady are in Texas for a memorial for the 14 people who died in the explosion at a plant in the city of West. Ed Payne has more on how the town is moving forward while grieving the loss.
At the scene of the blast, workers paused, taking a moment to reflect on the lives lost before resuming the work of clearing the wreckage. The West Texas Mayor Pro Tem says the workers, who have toiled tirelessly for more than a week, will finally be relieved by Waco city workers.
So they can attend funerals, be with their families, and get some much-needed rest, because since the accident happened, they have been working nonstop.
Just a few miles away, a funeral was held for firefighter and first responder Kenneth Harris Jr. Hundreds of firefighters attended to show their solidarity. Investigators are sifting through debris to piece together what happened last Wednesday when the fertilizer plant caught fire and exploded. So far, they have ruled out the possibility that natural causes started the fire. West Texas officials say today they will begin the process of reopening the town to residents.
Everything is safe. People are patrolling still constantly 24 hours a day. West Police, Highway Patrol, state and local.
Officials say they've made great progress since the explosion.
We have come a long way in 8 days. You know, we were like this last Wednesday. We're coming down to this right here.
But they know they still have a long way to go. I'm Ed Payne reporting.
Officials say a fire caused the explosion, so determining how it started is the key to their investigation. Agents are trying to reenact the fire to do this. They say having a fire scene and an explosion to sift through makes things complicated. 5 U.S. presidents, past and present, attended the dedication ceremony of the George W. Bush Presidential Center today. Former White House and foreign officials were also at the ceremony in Dallas, Texas. Current President Barack Obama told the story of when he first walked into the White House.
The first thing I found in that desk the day I took office was a letter from George, and one that demonstrated his compassion and his generosity. For he knew that I would come to learn what he had learned, that being president above all is a humbling job.
The ceremony ended with a tearful speech from former President George W. Bush.
There's a bright spot in the economy today. Unemployment benefit claims fell more than expected last week. Nearly 400,000 people filed claims, down about 16,000 from the week before. Economists only thought the number would be closer to 4,000 fewer requests. First-time unemployment claims are seen as a gauge of how strong or weak the housing market is. These figures show us that fewer employees are being laid off, but that doesn't mean that hiring is on the rise. And another piece of good news, some mortgage rates have hit a record low. Freddie Mac says 15-year fixed-rate loans fell to a record 2.61% this week. That's down a fraction from last week. The most popular mortgage, the 30-year fixed rate, is hovering just above its record low. Freddie Mac's chief economist says the low rates are causing a boost to the housing market. And on Wall Street today, stocks closed higher, but only after losing some of its early gains. Let's take a look at some stocks of local interest.
We do have that frost warning tonight from 2 a.m. until 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. And we got a little rain on the way for tonight too. But will it rain or have some sunshine for the week? I'll let you know all the details next on NewsWatch.
How does a horse bred for war become the star of this ballet? The answer lies in the history of this creature, the Lipizzaner stallion. This is Vienna's Spanish riding school, where horse and rider continue a tradition that has been passed down for centuries. Discover what it takes to become a legendary white stallion.
On the next episode of Australia's First 4 Billion Years, an adventure way down under
Blimey, this is tough.
reveals the key to the kangaroo's story and the giant evolutionary leap that led to a continent of strange creatures.
Huge wombats, huge kangaroos, and giant koalas.
Now this little guy, he's a truly famous Australian.
Australia's First 4 Billion Years on Nova.
Welcome back to NewsWatch. I'm Christa Lamendola here in the NewsWatch Weather Center. Right now we have some beautiful conditions, 58 degrees outside right now. A little bit breezy with some winds coming from the southwest at 12 miles an hour. Humidity of 36%. That will be increasing as the night continues. We've got pressure holding steady at 30.27 inches. Going to our current temperatures again, things are in the 50s to 60s. 58 degrees in Athens, 60 degrees in Gallup and in Huntington. We do have a little bit cooler temperatures up in St. Clairsville, 52 degrees. Look at our, again tonight, we do have that frost warning for the evening, about 2 a.m. to 10 a.m. So unfortunately, we'll have some showers beforehand, so you're definitely going to want to cover up those beautiful plants that you've been outside planting if you have the chance today, because those will be damaged with this frost tonight. Again, those temperatures are dropping all the way down into the 30s for tonight, so definitely going to be a dramatic difference from tonight into tomorrow. If we look at our almanac for today, we did have a high of 64 degrees, just a little bit shy of our average high of 69 degrees. Our low was 36 degrees for today, and our average low is 45 degrees. Our record high of 91 degrees was set all the way back in 1915, and a record low of 30 degrees was set back in 1967. The sun rose today at 6:37 a.m. and it will be setting later tonight at 8:16 p.m. Taking a look at what's going on outside tonight, we do have this beautiful high pressure system in the area that's going to make some nice clear skies for us tonight. However, that means there's nothing to insulate the temperatures, so we are going to be seeing those temperatures decrease throughout the night. Going into tomorrow, we do have that high pressure system again going to be in the area, but take a look a little bit to our left in the west coming up. We do have this low pressure system creeping into the area. Again, we'll have these nice conditions, a little bit scattered showers, but come tomorrow night, again, we'll be seeing some cloudy conditions, nothing too serious, but for the most part, some nice conditions. But come Saturday, that low pressure system is definitely moving in. We'll be seeing some residual impacts from that. Looking at our temperatures for tonight, we have lows in the 30s. Very chilly out tonight. 33 degrees in Athens, 35 degrees in Gallia, and 36 degrees in Parkersville. Going into tomorrow, those temperatures are going to bump up into the 60s. 66 degrees in Gallia, almost hitting 70 down in Huntington with 68 degrees. And we have a little bit cooler temperatures up in Steubenville, 60 degrees. Tomorrow night, we're going to see those lows bounce up a little bit. 41 degrees here in Athens, 39 degrees in Parkersville, and 41 degrees up in Zanesville. And Saturday, we're going to be seeing a little bit of rain showers. 67 degrees in Lancaster, 68 degrees in St. Clairsville, and a little bit warmer, 70 degrees down in Huntington. They're really seeing those nice warm conditions for the week. Tonight, again, we have that low of 33 degrees. We're going to be seeing a little bit of scattered showers between 8 and 9 p.m. for some frost overnight, so protect those plants. Tomorrow, we're going to be seeing that high of 63 degrees. So we are going to be still seeing that frost before 10 a.m., but then the sun will be out. We'll be able to enjoy that day. It's going to be beautiful outside. If we look at our extended 7-day forecast, you'll see the weekend not looking so bad. It's going to be nice, beautiful temperatures, 69 degrees on Saturday. In fact, if you look at the temperatures for the week, they are all nice, warm, beautiful highs, 80 degrees on Tuesday. But again, we did have that low pressure system, like I said, creeping into the area. So we're going to be seeing some on again, off again showers throughout the week. But overall, spring is definitely here. We just got to worry about protecting those beautiful plants that we planted tonight when that frost comes in.
Right, if we can stomach the chilly night, then some warmer temperatures are definitely on the way, right?
Definitely. Warmer temperatures for us and the plants.
Thanks so much, Christa.
So, Seth, there's been a lot of action in the world of Ohio professional sports this week.
Yeah, absolutely. That's right. The Columbus Blue Jackets looking to make the playoffs for the first time since 2009, and both the Reds and Indians were in action yesterday afternoon. See how Ohio's ball clubs fared as they move into the weekend series. Next on NewsWatch.
Hope and heartbreak, risk and redemption. Join us for the New York Philharmonic's shimmering new production of Rodgers and Hammerstein's Carousel, starring Kelly O'Hara, Nathan Gunn, John Cullum, and Stephanie Blythe. Next time on Live from Lincoln Center.
The Ohio softball team has been the hottest team on campus this spring, winning their last four, sweeping Wright State and Akron. The Cats are a game above 500 on the season and sit at 6-8 in the Mid-American Conference, which is good for fourth in the East Division. Ohio had the week off, but this weekend leave the comfort of Athens for their last road trip of the season. Tomorrow, the Bobcats head to Kalamazoo to take on the Western Michigan Broncos and follow up that series with a trip to Northern Illinois. First pitch at Western is scheduled for 1 p.m. Ohio's baseball team was in action yesterday as they traveled to Beckley, West Virginia to take on Marshall. The Cats were unable to make it two straight after their Tuesday win over Morehead State, falling to the Thundering Herd 4-2. Ohio senior third baseman Ben Otto went 2 for 4, hitting his first home run of the season, driving in a pair of RBI, but it was not enough for the Cats. Sophomore Nick Plies earned the loss for the Bobcats, giving up 6 hits and 2 earned runs, falling to 0-3 on the season. Ohio heads to Ball State tomorrow for the start of a 3-game series. Rainy weather and muddy field conditions caused all of last night's Tri-Valley Conference baseball action to be postponed. Meigs versus Belpre and Fedhawk versus Miller have yet to be rescheduled, but Trimble and Eastern will be played a week from today on May 2nd, and Waterford versus South Gallia and Southern versus Wahama will hit the diamond tonight. After Tuesday's game between the Indians and White Sox was canceled, Game 3 ensued yesterday afternoon with the White Sox taking a 3-2 victory to split the series. Chicago plated all 3 of their runs off of an Alex Rios team-leading 6th home run in the 5th inning. After rallying in Monday's contest, the Indians looked to repeat their success but came up short after scoring only 2 runs in the 6th. Zach McAllister was charged with the loss for Cleveland. The Indians have tonight off and head to Kansas City to start a 4-game series tomorrow night. Ohio's other big league ball club had a little more success against the team from the Windy City, with the Reds taking the series from the Cubs 2-1. The Redlegs sit just a half game back of the St. Louis Cardinals for the division lead in the NL Central. Now the Reds head to our nation's capital for a tough 4-game series with the fiery Washington Nationals. Taking the bump for the Reds will be Bronson Arroyo, and the Nats will send Gio Gonzalez to the Hill. Tonight's first pitch from Nationals Park is scheduled for 7:05. It's crunch time for the Columbus Blue Jackets. With 2 games left to play on their regular season schedule, the Jackets' playoff destiny is in their own hands. Columbus takes on the Dallas Stars tonight at 8:30, trailing Detroit in the 8th spot by 1 point. 6 spots have already been claimed in the Western Conference, with Chicago, Anaheim, Vancouver all winning their respective divisions. The Blues and Sharks clinched berths last night, leaving the final 2 spots up for grabs in this year's playoffs. Detroit jumped into 8th place last night with a win over Los Angeles, but with 2 games left, Columbus is still very much alive. After tonight's contest in Dallas, Columbus will take to Nashville on its regular season finale on Saturday. Also chasing the 8th spot are Dallas and Phoenix, both with 48 points. While the Spurs and Pacers had double-digit wins to extend their first-round playoff leads to 2-0, the Oklahoma City Thunder had to earn theirs. OKC had a 15-point lead in the 4th quarter, but the Rockets clawed their way back to take a 4-point lead with just over 3 minutes to play. But the Thunder weren't going to drop this game, as Kevin Durant and Thabo Sefolosha both knocked down big threes late to give Oklahoma City the win, 105-102. Tonight's slate of games includes the beginning of Game 3 in Memphis, Milwaukee, and Chicago. And guys, football season is not that far away. Day 1 of the 2013 NFL Draft kicks off tonight at 8 live from Radio City Music Hall in New York. The Cleveland Browns look to keep rebuilding, sitting at the 6th overall pick. Pittsburgh holds the 17th overall pick, looking to add playmakers that will get them back into the playoffs. And Cincinnati drafts at 21, wanting to add to a young roster. And the Kansas City Chiefs, after a 2-14 campaign last season, they have the 1st overall pick. And guys, this is kind of like a holiday for me. I love draft day.
Yeah, so I know last year one Bobcat was drafted into the NFL. Do you think there'll be any chance of that this year?
Yeah, there is a good chance. LeVon Brazil was last season. Eric Herman got the invite to the NFL Combine earlier this spring. We'll look to see if his name can get called in the later rounds of the draft.
All right, great news for the Bobcats. Thanks, Seth. And stay tuned tonight on WOUB.
Here's a look at what's coming up next on your public television station. Christa joining us once more. We're in for a cold night.
Yes, it's going to be a little bit chilly, dropping all the way down to 33 degrees as the low. We're going to be seeing some rain showers between 8 and 9 p.m. A little bit of frost overnight going into tomorrow morning. But after that frost melts away, we're going to be seeing a high of 63 degrees. It's going to be beautiful. Sunny days, maybe some scattered clouds coming in and out. But for the most part, it's going to be beautiful. And if we look at our extended 7-day forecast, we'll see the weekend's not looking so shabby. But come Sunday, we're going to be starting to see a little bit of rain showers, and then for the most part, those highs are all in the upper 60s to 70s, even hitting 80 on Thursday. So all in all, pretty good week for spring.
Good news. Thanks, Christa. And that does it for our broadcast on this Thursday evening. Thanks for watching.
You can get the latest news and weather on the WOUB radio network.